Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Angel Has Fallen, number 2 would be Ready or Not, number 3 would be Good Boys, number 4 would be Hobbs Shaw, and number 5 would be The Lion King. And I only got 1 out of 5 of my predictions right for this weekend, very shockingly so, but a movie literally came out of nowhere, very similar to how another movie had come out of nowhere back in 2015 that I wasn't aware of. So let's go over what happened in the overall top 10. Number 1 was Angel Has Fallen. That was the prediction I got correct. It opened a little bit below London Has Fallen, but like only by a couple 100,000. It still made $21 million though, and though it doesn't have a worldwide total yet, the production budget, though it originally stated it was like 80 million, now says it's like between that and 40 million. So maybe with a combined worldwide total and domestic total, this will do pretty well. The director, this is his highest opening compared to his last film, Snitch, starring Dwayne Johnson. That opened with 13 million, so opening with a 21 million opening is probably pretty good for him too. The fact that this movie didn't even really have that big of a drop in comparison to the weekend of the last Has Fallen film is actually pretty good in and of itself. I'm sure this is the end of the trilogy unless they want to make another one, but if this is really the end of the trilogy, then this isn't a bad way to go out. That is assumingly that the worldwide and domestic numbers will eventually double this budget, of course. Number 2, we have Good Boys making 11 million, adding to a domestic total of 42 million, and not only did they double their budget domestically of 20 million, but worldwide it is sitting at 48 million, so they've made 8 million over that doubling point so far, which is really great for this movie. Although a sequel did just overtake its number 1 spot, it was good to see at least one new original film get at the top of the box office that wasn't Us this year. So Us and Good Boys, I think, are the only original films to get number 1 at the box office this year, but hey, that's still a pretty good achievement in and of itself. Number 3 was a movie that literally came out of nowhere called Overcomer, and if you have no idea what this movie is, neither did I for a bit, but I remembered that I saw the trailer a while back for it, and it's from the same directors as War Room from 2015, the one that haunted me on Box Office Talk, and they've made another film that is haunting me on Box Office Talk right now. It made $8.2 million on a budget of only 5, so they need about 2 million more to double that $5 million budget. Because they've had that reputation of War Room, I think this movie will do pretty fine in the next coming weeks. They obviously are going to double that budget, and it'll be interesting to see if they are able to at least triple or quadruple that, or maybe even more than that. But number 4, we have The Lion King making 8.15 million, adding to a domestic total of 510 million, so it is officially the highest grossing live-action Disney remake domestically and worldwide, which is fantastic for it, obviously, and fantastic for the fans of this thing. Worldwide, it is sitting at $1.508 billion, which is quite a lot. It's doing fantastically, obviously, right now. I don't think I need to dwell on this any more than I have to. You know my opinions on it, and you know that I still think this is a remarkable achievement no matter how I feel about the overall movie itself or about the company that distributed it and made it in the first place. This is still a pretty good achievement for everyone who worked on it. I've said that a million times, so let's go on to number 5, which is Hobbs Shaw, making 8.14 million, adding to a domestic total of 147 million. Domestically, they just outgrossed the first Fast and the Furious film by 3 million, and it is 8 million away from outgrossing the fourth Fast and Furious film, which is pretty good in and of itself. Worldwide, it is sitting at $588 million, which is great. Last time they just crossed over like the 400 million margin, and now they are way past the $500 million margin. They're about to get to 600 million worldwide, which is pretty fantastic too, and it is 38 million away from outgrossing Fast 5 worldwide. So this movie is still continuing to rise in the Fast and the Furious financial ranks, even if it did open a little lower than expected domestically. Number 6, we have Ready or Not. Unfortunately, it did not get into the top 5. It made $7 million, however, and that adds to a domestic total of 10 million because this movie opened up on a Tuesday. And this is only on a budget of $6 million, so they only need about 2 million more to double that budget and be considered a success, which is obviously a good sign for fans of this film like me, that it's not a huge flop. I do wish that this movie had more attention though, and maybe it will because there is a lot of praise going on for this film, a lot of people trying to spread the word about this movie, but you know, sometimes when people do that, it doesn't really help all that much at the box office. So unfortunately, even though I think it definitely will double its $6 million budget, it's definitely not going to stick around as much as people would want it to. As much as I wish it could, I don't think it will have that kind of appeal, unfortunately, because audiences aren't really that easily swayed about what they want to see. Number 7, we have The Angry Birds Movie 2 making 6.3 million, adding to a domestic total of $27 million. Now domestically, it is 4 million away from outgrossing The Pirates Band of Misfits, and once it does that, it won't be considered the lowest grossing Sony Pictures animation film anymore. It'll just be still The Pirates Band of Misfits, although it still be one of their lowest lowest grossing ones, even worldwide, when it has a total of $74 million. It did outgross The Star by $12 million, so it's not even the lowest grossing Sony Pictures animation film worldwide either, but it's still like at the very, like second to last, and it needs $19 million more worldwide to outgross Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween in their financial rankings. Either way, none of that really matters because it still needs to get to $130 million to double their budget, and they have not gotten close to that at all. No audiences are really sticking around for it either and giving it more staying power. It's just kind of slowly dropping, and I really doubt that we're going to see any more Angry Birds movies from this moment on. Number 8, we have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, making $6 million, adding to a domestic total of $50 million, and that's domestically $4 million away from outgrossing The Woman in Black and $13 million away from outgrossing Las Vegas, the other two CBS films that are comprising the top 3 highest grossing ones domestically. So Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark has to get $4 million more to outgross Woman in Black and $13 million more to outgross Las Vegas. I think it definitely still has a chance to do that though, because it still has the highest grossing opening weekend out of any CBS film. Worldwide, it is still sitting at $72 million. I don't think it's going to get to $100 million worldwide, but this is not a bad sign for sure, because the budget is only $25 million, and they're about to triple that budget once they get past $75 million worldwide. So we could see another Scary Stories movie, although I'm not sure if the same audience will keep coming back to it though. Number 9, we have Dora and the Lost City of Gold, making $5.2 million, adding to a domestic total of $43 million. Worldwide, it is sitting at $60 million. So that's a pretty good boost for it. At least it was able to cross over the initial production budget of $49 million, but it still needs to get past $98 million to actually double that and be considered a success, and it's just not going to do that at all, it seems like, at least not in the top 10. Maybe outside of the top 10 it'll be released in some foreign country and it'll make a ton more money, but right now it's looking like it's not going to do that at all. And finally, closing out the video, number 10, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, making $5 million, adding to a domestic total of $123 million, and domestically it just outgrossed Inglourious Basterds by $3 million, which is great, and it's $39 million away from outgrossing Django Unchained, which is Tarantino's highest grossing film domestically. It's definitely not going to do that. It's about to leave the top 10, but hey, this movie being his second highest grossing one domestically is not a bad thing either. Worldwide, it had a huge boost too, sitting at $239 million now, so they definitely have doubled that $90 million budget, which is great for them. They've made $59 million over that, and I'm just so happy that this movie overall was able to finally double that budget and get past $200 million worldwide. That is a great achievement for Tarantino. Now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. Number 1, I think, will be Angel Has Fallen. Number 2, Good Boys. Number 3, Don't Let Go. Number 4, Overcomer. And number 5, The Lion King. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.